Once upon a time, there was a dog, a very sad, lonely dog. He had no home, and he was so hungry. But his luck was about to change. He wanted a home, and he was led to the most perfect place because he found my home. And this is the story of Charlie. Sad no more, starving no more. Meet Charlie. This was the first day that he let me get close to him. It took 3 days before he would come to me because the first time I saw him, I actually chased him off. He was far on the far side of the property. And then I realized when he turned to run away that he was really skinny. You could see all his ribs and his bones were jutting out. And when he came to me, it's when I realized he seemed pretty young. But I wasn't sure. He's such a big dog even then. So I managed to get him to the vet's up the street and had him scanned for a chip, but he had no chip. He was not fixed, and the vet estimated he was probably only about 8 months old. He was really dirty and full of stickers. So we started giving him lots of love and love and love and love and love. The vet helped me to treat his giardia and a little ear infection. And I gave him a nice bath and started buying little toys and chewies and things for him. And he started growing and growing. At this point, he weighed 50 pounds. That was the end of December. I slowly introduced him to all the cats, first in the house on a leash, just in case he got a little bit overexcited. But they all hit it off pretty quickly. Oh, I think Biscuit is still his favorite though. So he enjoyed his first bath on a sunny day out on the porch, and he got really, really, really fluffy. And he was very happy. He's such a good boy. And then I started understanding how smart he is. The way that he learned so quickly. He loves playing with toys. We're going through many, many toys. But he finally got what he wanted, a place to call his own. And after I run him around outside, he's allowed to come in the house. So then I started wondering, what is he? And this is the closest I could identify an Anatolian shepherd. Now, I don't think that's what he is. Look at his markings. By the end of the video, I'll tell you what he is. I'll show you his DNA report. So one good thing about a very hungry dog is that he'll do all kinds of things for a little treat. So he worked on all of his commands. And he learned that Riley, even though he's blind and mostly deaf and diabetic, Riley is the boss. And so he took his cues from Riley when we go out for a walk. And then we do quite a bit of off-leash work as well. And he was very quick to learn sit and stay, good boy, come, drop it, all kinds of little things. I tried running away from him and he would come right away to me. Although at the moment, 3 months later, he's going through an adolescence and we need to go back to some basics. He gets very, very excited outside. Treats, treats. Good boy. So he grew. And I took him in for his follow-up appointments, and he was already at 65. pounds. And that was in about a month, a little over a month. So we kept giving him lots of exercise, fresh air, good food, lots of things to chew on, and every time he would get a little antsy in the house, we'd go out and run around. And luckily I have a big space. And then I had to also introduce him to the horses. So he's doing pretty well with them too. He loves them. Of course, all dogs seem to like horse poop. Horse poop. Oh my gosh. So he has learned that they will chase him if he goes in there. But he also learned that the little ball that he stole from the horses' corral scares them. So he likes to hold the handle and run around near the corral. He's a good boy. He listens so well. He's always interested. And he wants to know if it's going to be something fun, like going in the car. Because he's a good car dog. And luckily, he now knows how to jump into the back of my car without me lifting him, because I can't anymore. Because he is now 75 pounds. And he loves to sit on his little cushion in the morning looking out at the birds. Or I tether him on the porch and he sits in the sun and watches my cousin in the garden. He's a handsome boy and he's a very happy, happy dog. He's got a great personality. And he's very goofy. Oh my gosh, why do all my animals melt when they sleep? He's such a sweetheart. And his favorite thing is snow. Oh my goodness. We do get snow a couple times, usually during the winter here. And it was already kind of spring-like, and we got another storm. And I'm sure it's the first snow he's experienced, because now at this point, he was only 9 months old. So I had the hardest time getting him in the house after we'd be outside for a while. He just absolutely loved the whole idea of the cold and, being able to run so fast. It was just adorable. And luckily, I did have an assortment of dog clothes between myself and my ex-husband, so I have a polar fleece warm underneath and then a waterproof on top, like horse blankets. It's a really great company. And he just had the best time racing around the bushes and going crazy. And meanwhile, I have little Riley, little old man, and he's like, okay, can we just do our business and go back in the house now? So it's nice to have this crazy energy, this excitement. It just warms my heart. He makes me laugh. And little Riley. He's such a good sport. I can't believe how brave he is to live in a world where, he's definitely at a disadvantage. He's not able to see if he's about to get run over by this big old honey bear, which he has been a few times, but they seem to really enjoy each other's company. They're getting better every day. They kind of bounce off each other, and Charlie's learning that he might be really big, but he's still the youngster. He would love to be an outdoor dog, I think. I would never allow it. He's so snuggly. It's fun to have in the house, too. He's got this habit of bringing wood from my wood pile every day. He picks out a piece of wood and runs around with it. So he's always trying to dig up this stump because he thinks it's a retrievable stick. Oops. Oh, Riley. Poor little guy. He drags on me. He thinks he knows where he's going, and he's very belligerent. And he gets very upset when I try to help him. See, he just navigated that wall, no problem. But then he'll go headlong into a door or something. It's an interesting household dynamic between these two. What do you got in your mouth? Yep. A chunk of wood, half of a pine cone, a stick, whatever he can dig up. He's trying to get that stump. So, you're seeing this personality. You're seeing his size and how fast he's growing. You see his colors. You see how much he loves the snow. You like finding the little patches that are left. I could not get him to come in the house. He wanted to eat it. So what do you think he is? He's a sweetheart. Yeah, he is still growing. And I want to bring him back to the vet's office so I could use the scale, because I want to make sure that he's gaining an appropriate amount of weight and that he has enough, fat. He's very lean still, but he looks very healthy and he's very active. It's incredible. It's just a dog with his log. A dog with a log. A dog with a log. A dog in his log. Yeah, he brought that up onto the porch. Can I keep it, Mom? Can I chew it up? And 2 or 3 times a day, we do a big circle of the whole property. He loves to come back out this way because we have these big, giant bushes. And they haven't come into bloom yet, but they're going to. But they are gigantic, and he loves to just race around them and have a good old time. What you got? He eats everything and anything. When I tell him drop it, it becomes a keep away game. So we're gonna have to go back to on-leash training. He just tries to get away from me. I end up chasing him, and then I can just stand in one place and say, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. He just races. And we need to do this. I do this pretty regularly with him because he just has an extraordinary amount of energy. And the funny thing is, I told my cousin when he was taking care of him one day when I went to work, I told him, well, if you take him on the side and you get him going around one of the bushes and say, I'm going to get you, he'll do the whole zoomy thing. And you just have to stand there. And he called me at work and said, oh my gosh, he was so funny. He ran for like 20 minutes. Yeah, and the other favorite thing is this ball, which is a jolly ball, which is a horse toy. So it's not really hard. He can bite into it, but it doesn't puncture. And it's got a handle. And when I fling it, he can grab it by the handle to bring it back. He just loves wrestling with it. I tell him to sit. I tell him to stay. I go away from him, and then I throw the ball. So when we play, I try to reinforce things that I'm trying to teach him. And then we work on a leash, and then we work just running, just exercising. And we have a neighbor. My renter has a dog named Abrams, and they play all the time. They get along great. He sometimes forgets to fetch it back to me. He's 85% good boy. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Good boy. That's not what the DNA said. So I got the first week when I realized that he didn't have a home and I wasn't getting any information back from any of my posts. I decided to do DNA test on him to find out if this was going to be a match for me, because some dogs really need a job and I need a pal and a sporting, active dog, but not one that's going to constantly want to run away from home or roam. And of course I was going to get him neutered, but so I did the DNA test, and it's just like with humans. You do a swab on the inside of their cheek up by the gums and sent it off to the company. It took about 2 weeks or so to get the report by email. Open a link, and it was quite a bit of information. Not all of it I've gone through quite yet, but it was a really interesting experience, and the more I sat with the information, the more I could see it. And I brought the results to the vet, and I was like, did you guess this? And he said, well, now that you mention it, I can see this and this, and he saw a few things. So he's a big dog. He's gonna get bigger. Hopefully not too much, because he's 75 now, and he might go 85 or 90 pounds. And I have to feed that big old hunk of muscle. It's going to be an interesting spring and summer, because I know my old boy is probably not going to be able to keep up and doesn't consider the car rides so much of a treat anymore, since he can't really see. But I do want to start being more active for Charlie and going hiking and doing things like that. And I want him to have that kind of experience that I gave Riley when he was young, going camping and going to see friends and getting neutered. Poor little Charlie. He was such a good sport. He did really, really well. And I got to bring him home with his cone, which he hated, and it was killing me when he was in the house. So I did cut it back away because it was too long. But then we compromised. And when he was under my direct line of vision, he could wear his thick towel that kept him from being able to reach around and bother his incisions. So he did really well with that, considering. But here he's got a little bit of a glassy-eyed look because he's still drugged up. Yeah. But he has turned into quite the guardian. Whenever we go out, he always goes and stands his ground right at the edge of the property, looking up and down the road, making sure he lets me know if he sees something that doesn't belong. And he has definitely pointed out a bunch of things that I thought were funny. Different birds and kids next door, and Riley and Charlie. And then it snowed again in February, and boy, did he want to go out. He couldn't wait until I got up to let him out. Yeah, good boy. Early morning sunny window. We're going to go outside. That's Squeak, the black kitty, who never comes around, never wants to be around, when everything's happening out in the front room. But he loves Charlie. It's absolutely incredible. Like, he belonged here. He knew he belonged here. And the cats know that he belongs here. My quail. I have quite a variety of birds in the morning. 4 or 5 different places where I feed them. Squeaky ball. And then he quite often falls asleep with a toy in his mouth. He's just a big furry baby. In fact, sometimes he gets very intertwined with the cat climber. How can that be comfortable? He's so silly. He's very awkward and gangly and goofy. And I can't wait until he is who he's going to become. And here's Marco. Marco absolutely loves him. Very curious, always wants to be nearby watching him. And allows kisses. That's right. He's a good boy. So, what is Charlie? Let's take a look. Mr. Charlie. Here's his DNA report. We detected 15 breeds in Charlie's DNA. The top 5 are German Shepherd, Great Pyrenees, Marama Sheepdog, American Pit Bull Terrier, and Chow Chow. But the main one is Shepherd and Great Pyrenees. Did you see that in him? And the DNA report breaks it down into the herding, the guard dogs, etc. So German Shepherd and Great Pyrenees, herding dogs, Australian cattle dog. Did you see that in him? Yeah, I could see that. And then Asian and Oceanic and hound. So coonhound. And he has that tail, and he does do a little pointing sometimes. Thought that was pretty interesting. A little bit of husky. Yeah. Did you guess? I didn't, for sure. Great Pyrenees, look at that on the right. German Shepherd. And then you can click on all of the links, and they tell you all kinds of things about the different breeds. And Marama Sheepdog. I've never heard of that, but wow. I'm glad he doesn't have the coat of the Great Pyrenees, but he does have the size. Siberian Husky, Chow Chow. Those are small percentages, so it's probably somewhere in his past. And yeah, I found it very interesting and very informative. They even talked about different characteristics of the breeds and personalities. And Australian cattle dog. Yeah, it was fascinating, and I just love my Charlie. He's such a good boy. I wouldn't really care what he was, but I want to make sure that I give him the kind of life that's going to suit his personalities. Yeah, and then Mr. Charlie can have his happily ever after and live his best life with me, Free Spirit. Free Spirit and Charlie. He's a welcome member with the 5 cats and Riley and the horses. We love him a lot. So thanks for watching. Tell me what you thought he was. He's a big old good boy. Mr. Cosmic Charlie. I love you so much, buddy. Thanks for watching. See ya.